In this video, I'm going to demonstrate a way to paint the sketch of the rooster that we did in the last video. Let's paint. I'm working on a painting of a rooster. This is my rooster. It's a photograph I took of my rooster Godzilla. And in one video you saw how I showed you how to trace it and transfer it to a piece of watercolor paper. And now I've been painting Godzilla. I have several paintings of Godzilla. Well, so far about 6, but now I'm like, okay, well, what if I did this? How about if I did it this way? And I have a very, very light drawing on the piece of watercolor paper, and I've filled in a few of the details, and I'm ready to start painting free and easy. I'll just show you what I have on my palette. I have some black paint, some gamboge, which is yellow, which I mixed with some orange, red, and this is phthalo green and phthalo blue. Phthalo is just the name of a paint. It's deep, dark colors. I like them. And I have a selection of brushes that I like to use, and you can see, oops, I have my mug over there. You never should have an open container of beverage on your art table. I cannot tell you how many times I've put my brush in there instead of putting it in the water. Now we begin. What I want to achieve is a kind of a free and easy brush stroke that forwards the motion of the rooster himself. I'm starting with a phthalo green, and I'm just gonna mix them up. Most of that motion is in his tail feathers. Now I'm going to go over to a phthalo blue. Just add color in there wherever I think it should go. The actual bird's feathers are black, but they have the iridescent colors on them. I might add a little bit more green. And take a smaller brush, and I'm going to put on some of the black, not all of it, because I don't want the black really running into the tail feathers while it's wet. You touch 2 wet watercolors together, you're going to wind up with one running into the other, and often it becomes mud. Yum. Oh, there's a cat hair in it. I might change these brush strokes a little bit. Or not. Let me get that wing in there. Okay, there you go. All that's left for this one is some details. Mostly around the eye. I'm going to try to use some black and red. I need a lot more red to give some depth to the comb. I'm going to add water to those marks to make them fade into the red. There we go. Okay, now I do have some more details to do, and I'll be back in a moment and do those. I'm back. The paint has had a little bit more time to dry. I'm going to put in some details. It's kind of the painting is kind of a contrast between details and places where I allow the viewer to fill in. So, and what I like is the motion. It has a lot of motion. Oh, this is a plain old rollerball pen. Probably bought it at the supermarket. Now, I'm going to just put a line around the eye. It's black. There we go. His eye. Shows his beak. That's all I'm going to do with that. This is a watercolor pen made by Statler, which I just love, Statler's pens. Anyway, I'm going to fill in some details on the legs and feet. in this color that's kind of a burnt sienna color. His legs are kind of scaly. I'm not going to draw in all the little scales. The curved lines that I put on the scales also kind of adds a little bit of depth, a little bit of curviness to the legs themselves. And that's it. I'm going to call that done. I like this one best of all the ones I've painted. Wow. 7th time's the charm. Whatever. The last thing to do with any painting is to sign it. I've decided that since this one has a little bit of an oriental flair, I'm going to use my chop on it. This is my chop. It says Wild Spirits. Wild Spirits Artworks is the name of my website and art company. And I'm putting it in this red Chinese ink and hoping it'll come out okay on the watercolor paper. This is a discarded mat. Before I sign it, I want to have it in a mat so that I put the signature in the right place. You would not believe how many times I've put the signature in the wrong place and had it covered with a mat. Anyway. There it is. There's that one. And this is another chop that I have that I usually use on all my oriental type paintings. It's a picture of a little cat. I'm not sure it'll show up very well on here, but we'll give it a shot. Oh yes, it shows up great. Okay. I'll take the mat off. And I'm actually going to sign my name, E.C. Sullivan. And there's what it'll look like in a mat. Hopefully, a mat that doesn't have smears on it. Okay, so this is Elizabeth saying thanks for watching and happy painting, stay well, and happy trails.